Hello?
Good evening, everybody. This is another evening with Delenn on Tuesday, and we're just hanging out in the shopping district at the moment, doing a little bit of work on attempting to build an anvil shape from scratch. So we'll see where this goes. I forgot to let everybody on the server here know that I'm live, so we may get a little bit of chitter chatter in the corner, and that's okay. And yes, the bot says hello a couple times because I just reset it in the middle. So this morning we built some of an anvil shape in bubble wrap. No, actually it's blackstone, but it looks terrible. So we're going to pull it out and use something else. Now I'm thinking I might just start with polishing up the blackstone. It gets us a bit of a tile type pattern, but I think by the time we start throwing in a few odds and ends after the fact, then I think we might be able to get away with it, because this isn't too bad. I've also had a suggestion from multiple different people to try something like potentially dark gray in the terracotta side and see if it's got too much of a red brown to it. Bad news being I didn't have any or enough of the regular to be able to do that. So I mean, we could always go on a terracotta mining stream, but let's give it a shot with just replacing with this polished stuff to start, and then we'll see where we get to from there. But I'd like to at least get the shape done today. So first things first, I need to turn this into polished, all of it. Let's just go until I run out. There we go. And see where that gets us to. Decided I really don't like the look of cobbled deep slate. Polished deep slate isn't bad, but it gives me these weird horizontal lines, and unfortunately, they are not directional. So in other words, I can put things up this way, and it still ends up horizontal. I can go sideways, and it still ends up horizontal. So that's a bit of a shame. Hello. Good evening, James. How are you? Or should I say good morning? Good morning. And hello to Mama Bear. Good to see you too. You two were having quite a conversation as I was sort of just sitting here eavesdropping a little bit after a stream this morning. It was great. I love it. Always a good thing. All right, those will stay, these will not. And that will be extra. Okay, what do I have in here? Let's just move things so that I don't completely get disorganized. There we go. All right, so we can get the string and stuff out of there. James is good at being very, very helpful, yes. I would say that's one of the things he does best, is being helpful. So first off, I have to get rid of this. So, I mean, it's not going to be horrible. We're going to keep some of the shape and then just replace as we go. Mm-hmm. I was having a side conversation with Poodle Pirate just as the stream started, so slight distraction. Let me just minimize that for now. Otherwise I'm going to get this, just want to start replying to her, and that's not not helpful at the moment. Oops. Nothing wrong with that, but it's just not helpful to what we're trying to achieve this afternoon. So this morning I was talking about this thing and I was making silly comments. I slipped and said something I didn't want to say, and then I caught myself. If I hadn't bothered to catch myself, I don't think anybody would have noticed. But because I caught it, it became a mild joke for a little bit, and that's all good. I'm totally fine with that, but it was just kind of odd that I bothered to catch. And it was just a slip up in terminology. But now I'm on the edge a little bit, which is kind of disappointing because I really don't want to do that to myself. Geek Out. Oh, Geek Out category has become games. 2 games that take place on an island. Aha! Fantastic Sherlock Fox is hot on that one today. So, Forbidden Island. I don't know if there's a video game version. It doesn't specify whether it has to be a video game or not, but Myst is definitely a video game. And Forbidden Island I was playing last week, and it's a board game, actually. Well, a tabletop game, I guess is more accurate. It's not truly a board game, But I guess one could also add Fireball Island to that as well. Which is definitely a tabletop game. Sort of a board game, but it's the weirdest looking board I've seen in a long time. Let's just swap that one and roll it right away. Pop Culture Party. Miscellaneous 2 guitar manufacturers. Oh, we need the dubs in here. I know 2, but, you know, that's not the point. It's not for just me. Oh yeah, for sure. Anything we can buy at North America's largest gaming store is fair. Yes, for sure. Ads incoming? Aw. Ads stink. I hate them. Yep, I was thinking Fender, Gibson, and Godin were the 3 I was thinking of. Godin's a Canadian one out of, what would you say, Ontario, I guess, when we looked it up? I'm sure there are much nicer ones when it comes to acoustic guitars. But, yeah. And some people know Fenders, even if they're not a guitar player, simply because it seems to be the go-to when it comes to rock bands. And Fantastic Shock Fox, you know what I mean if I just said Gary.
Hello?
So we used to have a friend who would make guitars from scratch. Well, I mean, they had to buy the pickup, but the rest of it they would make from scratch. It was pretty cool. Hello there, Springer Shadow. Welcome on in. It must be crazy late for you. Did you finally get the short stuff, Shadow, all unwound for the evening? This is your time? I am working on, as odd as it sounds, working on an anvil, and actually there's some shape problems to it, because real-world anvils don't have quite such a rectangle, but it works. Hello! Wow. That's a good one. Welcome on in, Lord Snarl. Welcome, welcome. It's been a hot minute. That sounds all wrong when I say that. It's been a while. And so I appreciate that. Thank you very much for bringing in your raiders. I'm going to join that drop. It's always fun. Oh, guess not. I must have been in there too recently. Whee! One of these days I'll figure out what to do if somebody actually gets the bullseye.
Hello?
I have no idea what I would do if they did. It's gone midnight, but I'm just popping in for a short while. Okay. Before you head to bed. Yeah. Not quite as much of a night owl as our fine friend Snarl. Sometimes I wonder when he sleeps. A framed... What did I miss here? A framed target block. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. Yes. Yeah, no, I was actually... Sorry. I see what you mean, Fantastic Shock Fox. Makes plenty of sense. Then I don't need to have those there. Some of these items were because I had, weirdly enough, had forgotten that I could fly.
Hello.
Yeah, one of those days. Yes, if you get... Oh. Let's see if I can kick that one more time. Okay. I am trying really hard to make the ads stay away, but unfortunately, it does not like me. Eventually we get ads. It's just the way of it. Isn't that sort of the Muppet moment for the day? And that is the way of things.
Hello?
Poor little Timmy.
Hello?
Watching Pawn Stars. I misheard that for a split second only because, suffice to say, Terrier, given the source and the conversation we had last week about family friendliness and all, wasn't your fault, it was mine. But, we've got... I can't even remember what oh, that's the first tier. I had to think about that for a second. Like, I put the doorbell in and I couldn't remember what for. Yes. The first tier concept is, there's a bit of an inside joke to that for me. Oh, and thank you very much, Scrublord, for redeeming biggest fan as well. The doorbell is actually sort of a bit of a... so inside that it only is funny to me at the moment. But there was...
Hello.
A lot of people had seen a TV show called Whose Line Is It Anyway? One of those, like, where the games are made up and the points don't matter, or something like that. Sort of the tagline, especially in the US. And it reminded me, when I heard that doorbell, it reminded me a lot of a game they called Party Quirks, where people get given weird quirks and they go to attend a party. And the host of the party has to try and figure out whatever quirk that this guest has been assigned. And I thought, first person at the party is usually when I find the doorbell part most interesting. So that's where that connection came from. Long and weird, but it works. Welcome on in, Mr. Poppins. Or the guy with the million names. How's that? I don't know if I'd call him Excellency anymore. I mean, come on, have you seen what he changed his first name to? One of the most unpopular individuals on the planet right now is the one that Mr. Poppins tongue-in-cheek changed his character's first name to. So who shall be Hill Champion today? If you haven't played this one before, it's !join, and it's basically last character standing, I suppose. Power already gives off sparks. Wow. Wow. At least we're not going around calling him Mary anymore. At least not spelled with M-A-R-Y. M-E-R-R-Y, whole different kettle of fish. Okay. Mr. Poppins is the new champion of the hill using the frying pan. Ooh. Very Disney, sir. Very Disney. And no, it's not Mulan. 3, 4. Good going, Mr. Poppins. Yay. I don't know why I've got the Be Right Back screen. Oh, I do know, actually. In my preview section, I had the Be Right Back screen just because I had accidentally bumped that part of the foot pedal. Being paranoid about getting the mute button and accidentally bumping the pedal anyways, I got the Be Right Back screen. I'm not doing so well with that today. Stratocaster?
You're a wizard, Harry.
That's actually a special model of the Fenders. Oh, would you? Really? Okay. Okie dokie. Can do. So, give me a quick second to start the Kindle app up. It's been so long since people have actually called that one that I hadn't actually had that one ready to go. Where is... minigames. Properties. I'm going to steal the Would You Rather. Would you rather? There we go. And I should probably change this to... You're going to be seeing this in just 1 second here. So the next Would You Rather would be... I'm trying to find the one that we haven't actually found. Ah, okay, there we go. So I'm just going to put this one into stuff we can see on the screen. Can't spell. There we go. Okay. That's reasonable. Bit of a mess, but hey, it works. So would you rather up on the screen at the moment? And we should have probably turned it into a poll. I didn't think about that. If Fantastic Sherlock Fox has the opportunity, go right ahead. Would you rather is, would you rather be able to see into the future, and I'm assuming they mean not affect it, or would you rather be able to change one thing in the past? Good night, Lord Snarl. Thank you very much for dropping by. I do appreciate it. And I do also apologize. If anyone who came in with Lord Snarl's raid could let me know what he was up to, I would be very much appreciative. I dropped the ball on that one. Change the past. Ooh. Is it something that you'd be willing to share what you would change about the past, or just something personal? I'm not sure what I would change about the past, if I could. Actually, I would do something minor that probably doesn't really affect much of anything. Stuff like, you know, for a really big appointment, I would not forget my car keys. If I could change that. Actually, if I could change something about the past, I would remember to hydrate properly when it was minus 20 Celsius out during the day, so that I would not have gotten both hypothermia and dehydration all at once. That was a very, very miserable experience. Ouch! Ooh. Gran Turismo. GTR Nismo, yeah, that does 312 miles an hour. Wow. That's speedy. That's speedy. I know I couldn't control one like that, even a digital one. It would confuse me to high heaven. And then some. Ooh. You know, one of the follow-ups of that, I mean, related to current events, not getting political one way or the other, it's just sort of a realization element, is in truth, if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't have Israel today. It's kind of a funky piece to think about. Our borders would be very, very different. On the planet, I mean, not my country, per se, because I'm in Canada. I mean, hey, if if I was changing borders around historically, I would have had Canada by Alaska and just be all contiguous. For some reason, that one really gets me, and I don't understand why. But I mean, hey, everybody knows by now that I'm weird, and I don't always have a reason that makes any sense to anybody else. I think part of it was just the fact that I got kind of annoyed when the teacher's like, you colored over into Alaska. You know, when you're at school. It's like, uh-huh, and your point is? Canada doesn't own it. Oh, come on. See. If you could look into the future for Lotto, you'd make yourself more than financial. Well, yes, that's true. Here's the thing, though. If all of us had an ability like that, like if anybody had an ability like that who needed it whenever, sort of thing, do you think that the governments would try and legislate against that in sort of like an insider trading kind of thing? It'd be odd. Back in the 1990s, there was a game called Command and Conquer: Red Alert. They suggested if Hitler was removed from the timeline, then the dominant force in Europe would be the Russians. Yes, probably. I actually fully agree with the idea that that probably would be the case. But on the other hand, I guess they're all too busy with that. Anyway, it's kind of interesting to watch or read speculative fiction or take a look at the speculative timelines in video games. I also get a kick out of ones that, as we're sort of playing this Would You Rather, when they talk about looking into the future. And related to that, I always get a kick out of taking a look at past visions of the future. It sounds funny, but things like, you know, H.G. Wells was completely wrong, but it's kind of a fun notion to read about. Let's see, another one, George Méliès was completely wrong. Whoever it was that did the movie Metropolis was out to lunch, but I mean, hey, that's kind of fun too. Taking a more modern look at it, you know, plenty of people talk about how Back to the Future was wrong in a lot of ways, but it's still kind of neat to look at nonetheless. It can be very thought-provoking, indeed. Indeed. Well, here's the thing, though. Would they be flying cars, per se? Or would they be all, like, actual sort of hover vehicles? And I don't mean as in, like, repulsors or anything fancy pants like that. We've got... You know, there's already things like supercooling that will make things repel like magnets. But another way of looking at it is, I mean, we've got VTOL systems, which is the vertical takeoff and landing. And would our cars have smaller versions of something like that? I don't know. I also vaguely wonder if the the past attempts at combination vehicle, like or car airplane combination, if we had VTOL back then, would that sort of invention have lasted any longer? Probably not, but it does make me wonder. If you could change oven settings in the past. Yeah, that's it. If you go back in the past and change things, would we have not burnt our dinner? That would be kind of fun. Biggest fan is currently Elon Poppins. Well, Mama Bear, that didn't last long. Grub took the crown, and then now Elon Poppins has it. Which, by the way, because that biggest fan actually climbs in price every single time it gets redeemed, we are now looking at... I'm just gonna bring it up here. Oh, no, not that one. We're in the, past 700 now? 750, I think? Biggest fan has now made it to... Oh, farther than that. 805. So to redeem it, yeah, it's 805. Now, this is one of those, would you believe? Sounds like Maxwell Smart. Would you believe that at one time it really was just 5 points? So we've had this going for a while. Now, I do fully intend to reset. I will probably do it when I hit Streamiversary in January, which is pretty close to the beginning of January, because technically my very first go live was like the 29th of December or something. Or 810, shall we say. I'm sitting here watching it go up. It's kind of funny. Yeah, now it's one of the most expensive things to do on the stream. Okay, so that's looking a bit better than the like bubble wrap design we had earlier. You made me look. I didn't jump, but you made me look. That's rocketing up. So one of the nice parts about the logic built into StreamerBot is that once we've reset it, then I can also start putting up notices and stuff if we get to a new record. Aha! Yeah, I haven't figured out how to get a background into the Hangman yet. I just hadn't put the brain power into it. Had some other things that had caught my attention, and I scrolled in that direction instead. Ooh, I'm almost out of blocks. Perfect timing. But definitely we'll look into trying to make that a little bit more visible, because not everybody needs it darker on stream. Some people have very dark streams, in which case it works perfectly fine as it is. Why do I keep getting weird numbers like that? Oh, whatever. Yeah, so although we have very like tiled look, I think that's better than the bubble wrap that we had going earlier. So many biggest fans. Well, it makes me pleased and spoiled, right? Makes me spoiled. And that's a good thing, I think. I'm not used to saying it's good to be spoiled, because that's not my normal default, but we're gonna have to make these corners a little bit bigger, like stick out a bit further, be a bit more realistic. But for now, it's kind of, if you think about it, it's sort of like a Minecraft square anvil with a few slightly more modern twists to it to make it somewhat like a non-Minecraft anvil in real life. Well, I was looking at antique anvils, Google images and all, and oddly enough, some of them were quite square, and then usually they have holes in the top, but the holes in these ones are actually difficult to place simply because it's not a Minecraft problem in this case. It's the fact that in real life, the holes that they put in the top, there's a weird name for them, but the holes actually change, as in like different eras and different parts of the world have the locations of those holes in different spots. What most people think of as the hole in the anvil I'm referring to is a square one, usually towards the more rectangular end of the anvil, and that's usually used for being able to put alternate tools and alternate shapes onto the anvil so that you can get different curves to work with. If you're, let's say you're doing shoulders on a piece of armor, you want the curve, and that the front spiky zone, there's a name for that too, and I can't remember what it was, but the front spiky zone may not be the shape you need. So then you'll put in another tool that's attached to basically a big bar, and you stick the bar through the hole, and then you can use the other tool sitting on top. Wow. Tag! So, the word that we had for Hangman was historical. Not bad, guys. Yeah, I think probably grabbing some sleep is definitely worth it. You're welcome back anytime you like. As long, like any stream you like, so no problem whatsoever. Everyone is welcome here, even if I don't always reciprocate, because I'm rude that way. For lack of a better term. I was getting teased this morning for my own oopsie daisies, and it was just kind of... It was funny, but yet at the same time, it reminded me just how impolite I can be. You just stream... Yes and no. It's not just that. It's actually also that sometimes we're on a roll where Minecraft is the thing, and so even when we have people that are in the same community, if they're not streaming Minecraft, I don't tend to raid them. And so if you're on a kick where you're absolutely enjoying car games, go for it. More power to you. Just means that the Minecraft crew doesn't show up all that often. That's all. Nothing against that. I will admit to lurking. I will admit I have lurked in your stream quite a bit. So, yeah. But in any case, I mean, come on. I hang out in Terry Dart's stream, and I have yet to see him play Minecraft. And that's fine. Of course he did. Well, yes. See, he knows a lot more about programming and stuff than I will ever know. So, yeah. Now, I will be perfectly frank, one of the reasons I haven't ponied up bucks on some of the streams that I want to is purely because I haven't got around to heading to the bank and converting one of my accounts that I've been sort of saving for that type of stuff into US currency. That's the big key, because otherwise in Canada you get really badly bitten on the exchange rates. And it's not just the straight out exchange rates, it's exchange rates plus bank fees. So I'm just being careful with that part of it. Not that, yeah. So that's what the reasoning is. And I know you guys didn't need to know that. That's one of those, most people won't share that kind of things. But hey, there you go. I shared it. I did. Me being lazy. Hey, Benson! Creepy lurkers and stalkers, yes. Some of them have feathers, Can't think why. Oops, come on. Don't tell him that, please. Yeah. Actually, my son was reminding me just the other day that Canada finally got their behind in gear and has decided on whatever image of Charles they're going to start putting on the coinage and cranking out new coinage. So I guess there'll be some changes in my pocket in not too far in the future. But rumor had it that I was reading on the web was that for the longest time the royal family, or whoever it is at that end, just would not approve the various sketches being done to see what they were going to put on the coinage. I would not be surprised, because it's a little bit easy to draw Charles in a rather unflattering way, and I suspect he doesn't necessarily want to be played up to an unrealistic degree, but he probably doesn't want to be seen, on currency for posterity, looking rather ridiculous. It's not hard, but it's probably not one of his go-to things. That's exactly kind of the point. Snarl, that's exactly the point. Although one person I was talking to on something or other, I can't remember what it is, but they were saying that their theory was you can kind of make it work if you attempt to visualize them more or less being pinned back by the ring of the crown itself. Well, and that would be interesting to see, actually, because I'm kind of curious to know what the UK currencies will look like. Because I do know that the image put on the Canadian one is definitely different than the UK one. And from what I heard, part of the reasoning for that was to avoid either country attempting to have the other country's currency passed off to people who are just too thick to figure out that they're holding their own country's coin. I mean, you know, I'd say a huge maple leaf on it would probably be a rather ridiculous giveaway. I don't know about you, but that should be a pretty big clue that you're not holding a UK coin. Let's see, Benson says, it would be my luck that I find a cave and it led directly to an ancient city. Ooh. An actual ancient city or just a deep dark? If you've got one handy, Terrier, I will never say no. Let's see. So what I'm attempting to do here, this section, is going to be sort of the pointy thing that you would picture on the front of an anvil, and working on using some circle cheaters, so as in circle design cheaters. So this one would work for 11 across, and we're only doing half height. So in essence, this spot would hang out and come out flat, right? And then we're moving to 9 and 7 and so on and so forth. So that's where these shapes are coming from. And it's just a matter of replacing them with a block that's better than what we had. And if I get too lazy, this block is better than, like, to go completely with this block is better than what we had by a very good margin. So I may just get that place filled and decide if I'm going to change it. I don't know. We'll see. I squirrel on projects a lot, and it's not simply getting distracted. It's that the motivation drain, sometimes the hole in the bottom of that drain gets really big really fast. And so by the time I finish it in the first block, I'm done. Which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Which also people are like, well, then why would you take on a big project like Shrewsbury? Search me, I thought it was a good idea at the time. I don't feel stuck, per se, with that project anymore. It's just, I needed to not be working on the wall today. We'll have to be coming back to that pretty soon, but I just needed to not be working on the wall today. Yeah, if you put, I don't know if Terry Darts is part of the Discord for this channel, but I can easily scoop it and put it across. That's not a problem. Or you can even DM me. There you go. That works too. Alrighty, so let's see. Open the image. Hello. Come on, browser. New window. Move tab 2. New window. So pursuant to our conversations, live. Uh-oh. Whoops, hang on a sec. Sorry, guys. I'm hearing that stupid, you know, baby soother suck noise that's the horrible sound of a zombie. Wolfen. I'm just kidding. I was just responding to James Curry's comment about you can design one part of the wall and con some others into repeating it for you. I've got the wall itself done, and we've got half of the walkway on the top of the wall done. But I didn't have the complete wall done. Okay. Wrong window. Where's this one? Display capture. Perfect. Let's just go this way. Boop. So you can see, double the chat. You can see that this is Charles' head on there. So if you do it right immediately from the side, the ears become not a problem, because frankly his nose is a lot less of an issue than the ears. I'm not too surprised that he forwent. Is that actually a word? I don't know. But that he passed up any notion of a crown. because that was one of the few things that he felt was not modern enough about the monarchy, was the fact that they're still wearing crown symbols. The other part of it is they actually have so many different crowns in storage. I think it's, what, 3 or something now, the official ones, that it would probably be difficult to get approval on which one looked the best with the sketch that was being done. You have a comical pic of a Charles. Cool. Yep. I could take that. That's cool. So I will, if you're okay with that, Terry Darts and Lord Snarl, when I get those, I will cross-post them after stream into my own Discord, just so everybody can see them. It'll be like pursuant to the conversation we had today. And then we can pick it up from there. I'm hoping I will get rid of the dirt blocks as we go. Oh, I forgot to... I have to figure out what to do with that spot. 2, 3. It's easy when the blocks all manage to seal the holes nicely. But when they don't, like this, I actually have to put my brain into gear. That's okay. You should do a flyover? You're welcome to anytime you like, James. You might get lost. You might get lost. It's not complex, it's just out in the middle of nowhere. Considering that I have a very quiet zone to the east of me because there's no longer activity from a certain owl, and that's totally cool. I miss their personality, but neither here or there. I think at the moment I am the, farthest east currently active member on the server. So there's really no excuse for people to visit me on the server. And be that as it may, I'm okay with that, you know? I might just actually have to plug the holes like this. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It does actually add to the smoothness of the circle a little bit. If I do that only on the first round. Oh, get these out of the way. Me. 1, 2. 3 cross wires. I'm not far from you, James. I'm aware of that. I just didn't realize that, see, there's life in James District. There's not necessarily a lot of life in mine, but that's just because I hadn't been there for a while, right? As Dadcraft rightly put it, I had modded Fever. And now, I shouldn't have said that because now I've got a song stuck in my head. For any of you who are familiar with the Muppets and Muppet Treasure Island, yeah. It reminds me vaguely of the Cabin Fever song from that movie, which is really, really corny. But I mean, hey, it's Muppets, it's always corny. Yeah, that space needs a lot of TLC, as in the whole base needs TLC. But that's okay, you know? That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Oops. I feel like I'm standing in a cannon. I know that sounds odd. Good choice, Mr. Poppins. Excellent choice. So once again, can Mr. Poppins defend his title as champion of the hill? And if he can, will Mr. Poppins defend it with a frying pan, or will he change to something else? Find out next by typing !join. This is why I did not actually ever apply for a career as a voiceover person for movies. In a world where the hill is two-dimensional, and the warriors all fight with household objects, who will reign supreme? Right. Thank you very much. So, popping. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Let's see. Discord. We close that. General. Wow. Okay, I have to share this with everybody. It's just too funny. The link. So, sharing this with everybody. Oh, and behind the Fantastic Sherlock box, you guys can see the lovely picture of Charles. I did not realize I still had the coin open. My apologies. So, yeah, that's definitely one way to deal with his ears. Fantastic. Okay, kill this one. There we go. Yeah, I have a feeling that if that really had been a legit submission, it would not have been approved by the family. There's no way. Ooh. Plumbing new depths. Wow. Just wow, Fox. That's okay. We had, I can't remember what they were doing, some sort of activity at Beaver Camp, and the youth were supposed to identify items by their pictures, so sort of like a scavenger hunt thing, but it was meant to be what sorts of useful items might you find around your house or around camp was sort of the original idea. But one of the pictures the leader had brought was of a toilet plunger, but it wasn't a photo, it was a drawing. And one of the kids was like, I don't understand how chocolate on a stick is relevant to camp. And it took us a second, we're going, what? Because we were thinking, okay, well, they can't be that crude, or what are you talking about? And they weren't intending to be crude, it was just that to them, it looked like some sort of Dairy Queen chocolate swirl on a stick. Okay. I appreciate that you dropped by, Snarl, very, very much, but in all honesty, for your health, shoo. Have a good rest, for sure. Oui. I'm hoping I'm not still here in about 6 hours, but possibly. Sounds like Poppins is gonna try to hold you to that. Ooh, I've definitely lost some of the blocks. Probably all over in the trees. No nasty surprises, that's good. Alright, so let's swap the peek out. We're back to Disney, my apologies. Music category, one song from Robin Hood. The one song from the Disney adaptation of Robin Hood. And in all honesty, the only song I know from Robin Hood's probably the only one anybody else will come up with, although I could be surprised. But one of the people I watch a lot is a guy called Chris Provost, who has a channel, it's Provost Park Pass. He talks a lot about Disney and where the Disney company's going these days and stuff. And he asked for feedback for a video. Not feedback on the video, but just feedback for content for his video that he was going to make involving what people think of Disney parks and the behavior of the company today. Like what's good or bad about them. Wow, that was one of those ones I should not have read the comments. There was quite a colorful collection. I believe that one's actually called Oodalali? Yeah. And in spite of the fact that I can fairly easily quote the ridiculousness I use for my stretch command, which is sort of like a 1940s rap. Not 1940s, sorry, 60s, I guess. I definitely can't quote that song from Robin Hood. I'd like to. I'd like to learn that, but it's just not on the to-do list. Ow! Flying, wings, it's important. Whistle stop. Yes, but that is definitely one song from Robin Hood. Okay. Pop culture party, probably a little more effective. Music category, songs that have had a cover version done by another famous performer. I am, for sure. Too used to my broom. I know, I like the broom. Broom had hover. Anyway, so songs that had a cover version by another famous performer. Oh, she's lurking, is she? Just hanging out in the back there? Oh, anyways, greetings to you both. Yes, that's true. Wow. Are you two in the same wavelength? Really? American Pie by Madonna, for sure. Like the cover version being Madonna. One of the ones that I was sort of surprised by and I like the sound of is Sound of Silence has been done that way as well. Oops. Oh, well, that's okay. Dolly Parton sung the song called Dolly Parton, sung by Whitney Houston? I don't think I've heard that one. Right, just reminded me of a totally different set of lyrics, and I can't even remember what the song is called. That's the problem with most of the stuff that's in my guitar book. I can never remember titles. It's not that they're obscure, I'm bad with titles. Hound Dog by Elvis is a cover, indeed it is. And quite a lot of stuff of Elvis's was a cover, because he could turn a lot of things into money that, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other ones too, like, oh, phooey. There's a bunch of stuff in the 60s that were written by, not Donovan, what's his name? Gonna bug me now. Fantastic Shock Fox, if you can remember, help me here. The one I keep complaining should never have written his own music. As vague as that sounds. Anyway. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff. I mean, there's been songs, Trent Reznor, we were recently talking about that he was talking about one of his songs that got redone by Johnny Cash. And when Trent Reznor heard it, he's like, oh. He thought it was sort of his thing, and originally he was annoyed that Johnny Cash was covering it. And then when he finally heard it, he's like, this isn't my song anymore, this is his, because he did such a good job of it. Yeah, Nirvana did a David Bowie song, for sure. For sure. I don't think who it was that should never sing their own songs. Well, I mean, there's a lot that qualify by that note. But, and now I'm trying to think of a song titled by this person so I can actually look them up. Those people, like, you picture the old guy, and you can't actually figure it out. That's fine. There are a good number of songwriters that tried to do their own music, and then realized later on that they were not the ones that should have done it. Yeah, I was aware of the Nirvana doing a David Bowie song, but I can't remember which one. So we're all drawing a blank here. Maybe this whole drawing a blank business is contagious. That's possible. I mean, hey, it is Delende. Why not? Why not be contagious? came across so wrong. Wow. Yeah. Last year, that would have been exceedingly unfunny. This year, it's only mildly unfunny. Streamers all over the world started drawing blanks as the virus spread. Like, I think they touched on that with the Neverending Story. 2 or 3, one of them had the Nothing, where everybody started forgetting. Everybody started forgetting everything. Okay, I think maybe only one. Just trying to decide how much overhang I want on this. You know, from this particular angle, it looks like a really bad starship. As in, like, Voyager gone crunch. Okay. Hang over by 1, I think. This way, one more time. Hello! Hello, Flaming Fox. Thank you very much for coming in. You may be rescuing my sanity, so that's a good thing. This is some hoppy music, yeah. Hoppy boppy stuff. This is... close the £1 coin picture. I actually figure out what the song is. It's another one of those Stream Beats by Harris Heller pieces. So whoever's working in that crew. And this one's called Ride the Wave. From their low-key collection. Oh, just that we were trying to figure out answers to the Geek Out Pop Culture Party. The problem is that a lot of us are just drawing blanks. It's like, I know so-and-so did a cover by somebody, and this other guy shouldn't do his own music because he just shouldn't. And that's as far as it's getting. Like, my brain is just out to lunch mush. Apparently, it's contagious. Ooh, fast car. Okay. See? There's one. And the key is part of the key is the famous performer. I mean, there's plenty of ones that have been covered by nobodies, and that doesn't just mean sing-alongs, but, for example, I think it was Patti LuPone? No. I know Petula Clark had one, where she recorded a copy of Little Blue Man, which then later on, creepily enough, became a staple at children's music festivals in our country. Like, why? That's just odd. Hey Sachet, how are you doing? Good to see you. And if you're unfamiliar with Little Blue Man, definitely give it a listen. It's nice and weird. Definitely pushing people over buildings is not necessarily something that I would consider, you know, super great fodder for kids' music. But it's catchy. I'm not great with music questions either. Oh, give me a sec. I know what I'm thinking of. I know what I'm thinking of. Wow. Yes, oh, that's what I was thinking of. Okay. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan should never, ever have sung his own songs once his voice started going south. It was iffy when he had a half-decent voice in his early years, but he should never have been doing it once his voice went south and he got all gravelly. The sad part is, as far as I know, he's still touring. So, obviously he didn't get the memo. Are you really a skeleton, or are you just hiding underground? I hope the creeper's hiding underground. I don't want that at all. You might actually make me jump, James, if you played that sound again. Uh-oh. We got Mama Bear left the game. Do I have anybody else? Close enough that I'll have to sleep for myself, probably. That's okay. It's all good. Oh, Storm. Gotcha. Wow. That's some nasty weather. pouring rain, and they have my road closed due to... Whoops. It scrolled just as I said that. I'm trying to think of the most obscure. Okay. Oh man, it's pouring rain now for Flaming Fox, and they have my road closed due to roadworks. That won't be done anytime soon. Very sorry to hear that. Second story windows. No, that's not about... Yeah, that's not quite the same thing. That's a 1940s novelty song, actually. That made it onto the Dr. Demento TV, or radio program, sorry. So for Fantastic Sherlock Fox, the road's been literally stripped down to dirt. It'll be a bog pit soon with all the rain. Elmo Poppins, I like that. That's a good one. Rolled in so fast, storms grumbling away. Wow. It's Raining Men was covered by Jerry Halliwell. Yeah, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Good choice. Good choice to ban that one. Let's see. Cooking. Ooh. What did you make, Scrublord? Inquiring minds do indeed want to know. We like Scrublord's food, and it's a shame that Scrublord is not currently working in that industry. On the other hand, I guess from one point of view, you don't have to bring your work home with you in that case. 1, 2. Alright. So what we're actually intending to do with this crazy shell of a thing is turn it into a shop. That's why we're hanging out in here. Right next to Tradar. Oh. We're ready to share. I don't know. Sharing time on Delen's streams is kind of scary. We get pictures of weird guys with big ears. Someone say shop, I'll be the first in line. I may actually be bugging you, because I'm not particularly sure about pricing, so yeah. We'll have to see. And besides, I mean, James, it kind of was your suggestion, to be honest with you. I just happened to have the fools to supply it at the other end. I think I'm liking this profile, so let me just F4 to make sure I'm not going to tear it apart and do it again. Yeah, the fact that it looks like a bad Star Trek ship, I think still works for me. Nope, not liking the end. This end has to get fixed. And this part's too vertical, which means I need more hangover. Okay, I can deal with that. That's not a big deal. Hey. So a lot of, when I was looking at it, a lot of historic anvils actually are fairly balanced. So the fact that this is pretty balanced left-right is great, but because we don't have a 3D sort of shape to it, it's, as much as these curves attempt to be that, it's just not looking quite right. So, and then the outside has to hang over a bit more. I think we can say. So I'm going to bring this one out probably 2, maybe, I think. So let's, yeah, overhang that one and this one. 2 on each side because, of course, you know, odd numbers and balance and all that jazz. 1, 2. And then let's, probably going to raise it up a little bit. Yum. You're making me want pie. I don't have to do pie for another few months. Couple weeks, I guess. I'm the designated pie lady at Christmas for our family's Christmas dinners. So I do Thanksgiving, which for Canadians is in October, and then I'm the designated pie lady for Christmas, which we usually get apple and pumpkin if I'm in the mood to do both. That's usually how it works, I think. Let's see what's this. Yeah, that'll work. So close. Which part off? Close off this bit there. And then just fill this part in. Flat. Oops, I won't need this one. Whatever. And I'm also realizing that this whole thing is going to need a big capping when I've got it done of slabs, just because I don't like mobs. It will also need lots and lots of lighting on the inside. Let's see. Could be. I'll be there around Christmas. Just gotta do some cruise ship hopping. Yeah. The cruise ships from across the Pacific can be a little bumpy, so I've heard. I'm not fully sure. My parents did a trip like that. But they started... I can't remember. I think they started in Oz and ended their trip in Tokyo. Like, I know it's not fully oceanside, but they flew home from there. My mom loved it and said she'd love to go back to Japan. I think she's crazy. Not that there's anything wrong with Japan, just her personality in Japan with my father being there at the time. I think she'd be crazy to have spent any more time there than she absolutely had to. Because he's not the best traveler. But understandably, though, I mean, or maybe not understandably, maybe on the bright side, he said he's never going to go back, so we don't have to even think about that possibility. Oh, yes, question of the day. Do you have any routines you try to do every day? I'm just going to say, how did that get back to whatever? It was a would you rather, but I'm okay with this. I'm good with the fact that it's not. Alright. For this back end, I like the front, but the back needs some work. Or does it? I don't know. For the purpose of what it is, I might actually just leave it. I don't want to get too picky. This is not an art project. It's a shop. You know? You get the idea across? Okay, let's see if I can actually pick up all these blocks. A pot pie. Ooh. Yum. Deconstructed pot pie, though. Let's see. Vitamins, feed the animals, feed Willis, help Beebs practice speech and dance, and ride. Ooh. Yes. Yes. Impa definitely needs out, and Willis needs feeding, and yeah. And I know Impa and Willis are not the same thing. I'm aware. Actually, Impa might be nauseated by Willis, to be frank. Just... I know that when we used to do some fermentation stuff at our house, that our dog was not on board. He did not like that. He would stay far away from it when we were doing fermentation things at our house. We used to make wine at home. Not homemade wine in the high-end sense, but we'd make wine out of kits and things. I just jumped off the wall. Dummy. Dummy. Okay, where am I? I'm losing my locations. Okay, so this row I'm standing on is not wide enough out. That's why I'm having a problem. Aha. Now I know. Okay, this way. Ow. I don't think the broom would have helped, but I missed the kitty cats. Access? Okay, there we go. I'm trying to keep it as hollow as I can in here for the purposes of a shop. This makes it a bit easier to figure out how to do things. Although, I should probably put a light in here, I'm gonna have problems. There we go. You know, pickling actually didn't take that long when I did it last. The big problem with it was just the fact that I did refrigerator pickles as opposed to actual heat canned pickles, which is great. It's just that when you end up with, 10 quart jars in your fridge, there's not a whole lot of space left. Actually, I don't know if they're quart jars. Now that I think about it, I think they might have been bigger. So, yeah. But it really didn't take all that long. It was just a matter of boiling it up and pouring things in. So, I mean, I probably, if I had the future skills, I probably would actually be able to do it in probably about half an hour, I guess. The slicing was the worst. Slicing of supplies was the worst, like the pickles themselves. And the funny part was the kids loved it when they were all sliced pickles, but when I got to the point where the ones that were sort of too small to slice, we just decided to pickle them whole. Well, they became the last jar eaten, and that resulted in them looking kind of funny just because some of them had lightened their color. The kids are looking at them like, I don't know if I want to eat this, Mom. So I got to eat them all. It was, not all, but almost all of them. Okay. Two films, geek out, Disney Animation, 2 films with a character in the title. I'm going to go with Oliver and Company and Lady and the Tramp. They didn't say live action, so that'd be it. And then we could add Robin Hood. Any others that I can think of? Come on. Really? Finding Dory. Finding Nemo. Yes. Yes, sauerkraut is pickled, for sure. Yep, sauerkraut is quite literally pickled cabbage. Usually a green cabbage if I remember correctly. Exactly. Yeah, why they only ask for 2? I don't have any clue. That's just kind of a dumb one. Okay, geek out. 4 characters that carry a bow. Katniss Everdeen? Robin Hood? I'm sure I've got to get more than that. Oh, Legolas. He carries legs too, but he's not entirely legless. Really? I didn't... Never mind. I was gonna say something and then my brain went, no, that sounds wrong, and I just didn't. There we go. Didn't say it because it wasn't ideal. Okay. Let's go with this width. Now that I've heard that stupid zombie thing as a soother, it really is bugging me. Now I can't unhear it. Think of, for those of you that are familiar with The Simpsons, think of Maggie Simpson's soother noise. That totally sounds like the way, to me now, the way that zombies sound in Minecraft. It's one of those, once I've heard it, I'm having trouble unhearing it. Quarter past the hour, here I am, still doing the exterior shell. What a shame. I was hoping to be further along by now, although I will admit I also didn't expect to be falling off. That's probably not helpful. You're singing zombie? Wow. Yeah. I'm lucky I don't have an Alexa device, because that would be not very nice. Every time we watch Dadcraft, he's got a sound now that plays. This one. That one. If that song lives rent-free in your head, wow. Yeah, mine, I wish it would pay rent. I wish it would pay rent. That's quite an annoying song, to be honest with you. I mean, if someone like Mahaku really wanted to mess with Dadcraft, I'm sure she's probably got the power to get someone to replace that, like in terms of doing a recording. And then, oh, that's not gonna be enough. Okay. But to do recording and then surreptitiously and sneakily replace it, and then when somebody triggers it thinking it's going to be the usual DC one, they got a whole raft of different than usual devices making that happen. I know it would kick me because I've got both of the other two major helper apps. Ooh, yeah, definitely take care of yourself there. Make sure your world is not soaked through, for sure. For sure, and I hope the horses aren't getting wet too. That's not a whole lot of fun. Okay, we're gonna need to switch because I'm running out of blackstone. Let's see, can I get... If I can get across part of the bottom section, I can even take out the walls. But the reason I'd like to have the black really across here is that if I have to switch to something else higher up, that's okay. I just want the darker for the shadow effect. She's been in... Yeah, you're right, but she's been involved in a few things. I'm sure at some point there'll be a Redeem and Dadcraft stream to troll Mahaku, but I haven't got any ideas on what that could possibly be, so it's not like these suggestions are going to come from this quarter. Okay, can I... I would just like to get this piece filled in. And then we can switch materials if I have to. Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, wet veranda's no fun. Funny, we don't hear the term veranda locally here all that often. I mean, it's not that we don't have them. It's just not many people use that term all that much here. Wow. Okay, there's just a few something spawning underneath. That's got to be pleasant and a half. It'd be quite the dance party if I didn't have, if they managed to find a way out. Good question, actually. Fantastic Sherlock Fox, do you have any clue? You might be working, so if you can't answer, that's fine. See, the thing is, my mom's side of the family has a... How's that for perfect? My mom's side of the family has a farm out in Saskatchewan, and they've used terms like porch and veranda lots. But being in the city, we just don't hear that a whole lot. Some people just lazily call it the front step, and that's as far as they ever get. So, let's see, what... I'm just looking at the design over there. What do we have? See if I can do, like 15? I have enough, what do I have for basalt? I can make a generator, that's not a problem. Cobbled, no. Cobbled, no. More basalt, okay, we're fine on that one. So we're gonna do a bit of a transition zone in basalt, and I'm okay with that because it's sort of like the weathering of the top of the thing. Now the question is, do I go vertical, horizontal, or tile the heck out of both of them? Ew. Yeah, horizontal, I think. Vertical's not bad when you go vertical next to themselves, if you want something tall, but I think for the purposes we're looking at, horizontal's probably where it's at. Right? So, vertical just to make it attach, and then because the basalt is directional. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to go with the striped layers. This weird, this sort of thing doesn't quite work. So some people have an enclosed porch. That's, I guess, now that I think about it. Oh, patio might be another one. Yes, for sure. We do use that one. Whoa. Crash. Crash, boom. We do use that one a fair bit. I mean, living in the frozen north, I'm not surprised that we probably have terms, or tend to use terms that I guess if you don't spend time on it, doesn't really matter what the word is. I'd be curious to know where some of these words come from. Part of my curiosity actually has to do with the fact that I was watching a YouTube video series from a guy who is talking about well, he calls it lost in the pond, but it's basically the communication between various different sides of the Atlantic Ocean, and what words made it over and what words didn't, and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of interesting to me just how many words that people say or spell in a way that we've sort of come to stereotypically know as American that actually are hangovers from what became the UK, but in truth that it was the US that didn't change pronunciation or spelling, whereas the Pacific side did. Or Pacific, sorry, the European side did. Okay, I need fill in the hole first, and then we should be good. Oh, ads. My apologies. In the summer, it's the hot box. Yeah, the sauna. Fantastic Sherlock Fox would love it if our family actually bought a real sauna. I think he would like one very, very much. I'm not a sauna fan, but you know, sometimes you go with what the crowd wants, right? Uh-oh. You're a spa person? Yeah. It's a free sauna. Well, yes and no. I mean, sometimes the things you see in the sauna, you probably wouldn't want to be seeing on your porch. Or your veranda, or your front step. Yeah, front step. There are some things I don't want to see. But not everybody's like that. Okay. You're down with the steam room as long as you can leave. Yeah, well, some of the stories you tell, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. People over a certain age should probably remember to keep their shirts on. How's that? It's about as cruel as I think I'm going to be today. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this whole top layer into salt. I think that would work well for a roofing type material. And yeah, I know I don't have... I'm just completely shooting myself in the foot for what I said earlier about putting a slab on top. I know I can't do that once I've switched this all to basalt. So not very effective in that respect. But yeah, didn't think that one through. Great. This all makes such a weird hollow sound. I find it really different. Okay. Basically, I just want to cap what's below, so I don't really need to worry about how big this is. I just want to not lose these, because I do need them. Are we saying that Daisy Duck would fit in there as well? What is it we would say? James is being giving us a smart response combined with that non-family friendly word I accidentally used this morning. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, 2 films in which... Oh, come on. 2 films with Gary Oldman. One of the guys whose face is a face that you generally see all over the place and never remember. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, James. Outside the box are the best answers in Geek Out, for sure. For sure. I love it when people come up with answers like that. It's like, I think I can get 4. And when they're all asking for 2, it's like, really? How can you get 4? And then you come up with something like that, and it's like, oh, you know, sort of the sad trombone type of thing, but totally accurate. Facepalm moments, yeah. Well, there's perks to sometimes being like that, though, because having some out of the box answers, it's a life skill, you know, and it's one of those things often worth pursuing, as long as one is aware of, you know, the time and the place. Most kids are not, so if a kid's being one of those, then we usually tell them to knock it off. When an adult's being one of those, it's usually pretty funny. Current Geek Out has become miscellaneous 2 films with Gary Oldman. He was playing Inspector Gordon and Gary Oldman is Winston Churchill? Seriously? Huh. Huh. Yeah, the hours are not great for that part of the planet, for sure. For sure. That's actually one of the disadvantages to becoming a part of the community for a North American or European person, is that if you live in Oceania or anything on the west side of the international date line, it can be really rough on your hours to try and be an active member of that community. Totally understand. Yeah, I'm trying to picture Gary Oldman's Winston Churchill. That's funny, actually. I don't know why I think it's funny, but something about it is hilarious. One of the ones that the current community may be fairly familiar with, Gary Oldman is fairly well known for playing Sirius Black in the Harry Potter movies, which is one of the few times that the look he has on screen and the look he chose to sport for a while off stream were fairly the same, as in what I heard, he actually quite liked the long hair and mustache, so he just kept wearing them. Okay, you know, why not? Yeah, at Beeb's age though, 5 a.m. is way too early. Even if Beebs is a napper, that's still rough. I mean, ask Fantastic Sherlock Fox. He's not a 5 a.m. fox any more than you are. He used to have to get up to be on the phone at like 5:30 in the morning. That was one of the reasons why he switched jobs. Regardless of the fact that I personally can't stand the current company he works for, that his early hours have shifted. And the funny part is, most of the time, he doesn't have to be on the phone that early. Most of the time. The exceptions are when people go, oh, hey, you're still far enough west that you can take calls from people in Japan or in India, and you can talk to our Indian office. It's like, no, you know, I don't really want to have people on the phone that early. Because, yeah, it's just rough. We've got our kids going through weird sleep shifts right now. What I mean by that is, the one who used to be our early morning riser guy, my son, is now having a harder time waking himself up he's getting closer to the stereotype of, teenagers that sleep all day type of behavior. He's not that guy, but he's just hard to get up on time. And most days of late, it seems like my daughter, who normally takes after me, who will sleep till noon and beyond, and usually her brain's racing and she doesn't get to sleep. She's the one who's up and awake and ready to go and listening to music at that hour in the morning. Not at 5 per se, but like she has to get up at 6:45, I guess. And she's right on the money. I don't know how she does it. And when I go to tuck her in at night, because I'm not usually spot on the ball, she's actually like out like a light. And I hear about it later because she's annoyed with me. She's like, "Why didn't you tuck me in?" Well, I did, but you were asleep. She's like, "If you'd come and tuck me in earlier, I wouldn't be asleep." That sort of thing. So, oops on my part. Okay, so if I can... He's up at 6:15. His alarm goes off at 6. Yeah. And that's totally not... That's not their normal. Where are we here? Is this double high? Double high, yeah. Well, I should say, it wasn't their normal for the longest time, and now it appears to be, and it's surprising me because she still is hard to get up at camp and things like that. And that's not just because the sleeping bag's warm, she's just not that early riser person. She's more likely to be a night owl. So I just thought it was kind of odd. Things are shifting and switching. And I would like to be one of those people who's up and part of that, but yeah, it's not in my nature, I'm afraid. Or Fantastic Sherlock Fox gets stuck with that. So trying to deal with work and that at the same time, I wouldn't want to be in his boots for all the world. Even though my son's now heading junior high, and can, fully capable to walk himself to school, he really likes the company. So, Fantastic Sherlock Fox and he are both pacers in that they like to have their walks. They like their stretch. And so it helps everybody focus and stuff when Fantastic Sherlock Fox can get his walk in. That helps my son when he can get his walk in. So, two of them want to walk together in the morning. More power to them. Oops. I actually thought I was going to get this done. We may not. We'll see. So, let's see. If Beebs has the iPad and such taken away around 7:30 or 8, she'll calm down for bed, then she's up at 7. So she's basically pretty much almost a 12-hour cycle regardless. But it does make a big, big difference. Yeah, it does make a huge difference. Okay, let's get this. 12 blocks isn't going to cut it, so let's just get this roofing on. And we get the forgiveness of being able to go incredibly square by the fact that it's by the fact that it's an anvil. It's nice. I don't have to worry about dealing with arches on roofs and stuff. Come on. But apparently I'm no better at placing blocks. That. Yeah, I think we can do that. Let's see, this geek out. Change to 2 themed versions of Flux. I have no idea what the game Flux is, so we're just gonna skip it. Let's see. Pixar animation. 1 fictional magazine or newspaper. Pixar? Why Pixar? Weird. So specifically Disney Pixar animation, 1 fictional magazine or newspaper. That's an odd one. I don't know if we'll be able to answer that one. I'm assuming there's something in Toy Story. Or possibly in Up. Maybe? You see the newspaper? Oh, Monsters, Inc. Right. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. Not this way. That one. Now, do I have enough to go all the way across? Really? Okay. I should probably get myself out of here, or I'm going to get all kinds of lovely things dropping in on my head. Yeah, they do go so far as that. And then there was even newspaper clippings in Up that Carl was collecting, he and Ellie were collecting, about their favorite explorer, Munch, or whatever his name was. Which is interesting because Carl's incredibly, I guess he's lost most of his physical mobility at his age in Up, and yet was it Munch or Munchausen or whatever his name was? Yes, I think that's a disease, but the bad guy, in any case, he was an adult at the time we see in all the flashbacks. Yeah, he was an adult when we see all the flashbacks, and yet by the time they meet up, that guy is still super duper agile. Kind of odd. Do I have any more? No. What's this? Polished deep slate? Polished deep slate slabs. What do those look like? Nope, they still have that horrible horizontal design. So I'm getting the vibe here that we should probably just skip this question. Because everybody's like, I can picture the newspapers, but I can never quite name them. Note to self, have a Disney marathon, yeah. The note to self, finish the Geek Out entries that aren't Disney related. Okay, because I did hit random. Music category from Disney, 2 songs that are less than a minute in length? Really? Who knows that stuff? Aside from like Stormy Owl, who knows that stuff? Whatever. I mean, technically there's probably quite a lot. If I think about it properly, I think the Mary Poppins song, where the kids are talking about the choice position. I can't remember what the title is, though. That's the problem. If you want this choice position, have a cheery disposition, etc., etc. There's far more to it than that. But I just gave myself an earworm, so I'm not going to stick you guys with that, I suppose, is probably a good way of putting it. Oops. When I came at it underneath, I couldn't get the block straight. When I came at it from the top, I can't get the block straight. I don't know. This Delenn is very, very sus. Can I return it and get a new one? Now I'm gonna have that stuck in my head all evening. A crazy song. I got my own earworm, no sharing? Are you gonna share your earworm so I can make it worse? Is it the one that had free residence in your house? Or in your head? Yeah, okay. It's in your head, of course. I'm hoping... Actually, this does bring up a point that you guys need to know about. I will be canceling my stream in this slot tomorrow. Reason being is that there's a program we have in Canada called like Broadway Across Canada. And so my city is having... Oh shoot, what's it called? Hades Town, I think, is the one that's here tomorrow. Or like that I'm going to go see tomorrow with my mother. So we've got season tickets. And every couple of months, one of the shows comes up. So this one is Hades Town. I have no idea what it's about or what it's like. Sometimes I will go and listen to some of the music in advance, sometimes I won't. I've had a couple of good surprises and a couple of bad surprises when I did that. You're welcome to it! You can have it, Elon Poppins, no problem. Although you can't have my mods. Well, yes. Mostly. My mom likes it, and I don't mind. She started. Like, she's the one who got us the season tickets and stuff. And it is a good evening, because we go and you hit up the food court, actually. Even though it's a nice theater night. We go hit up the food court, because that way you don't have to wait for waitresses and kitchens and whatever. But she likes it partly because we get the chance to talk. I don't. I'm not one of those people. We live in the same city. I don't talk to her a whole lot. Part of it is because in the last several years she whinges about the same stuff over and over and over again. And there's a slim chance that I might have some ADHD style behaviors, which means my interest level in half the stuff she says just isn't there. So we can easily talk for quite some time on theater night, and then I sort of don't a lot of the other time. The other part of it is sometimes I hold grudges a little bit too long for just minor stuff, and we're not, big, feuding nonsense or anything like that. But sometimes it's like, okay, I never hear from you except when you want something. So I'm not necessarily as likely to initiate. Yeah, exactly. But it's getting better. It's getting better. And the theater stuff really helps. So yeah, as to that, we've had a couple of surprise ones that they weren't surprises in general, but they were surprises in that I hadn't listened to them in advance, didn't look up the storyline in advance. Sort of wish I had, but I would probably... I mean, when it's on your season ticket, you go anyway, whether or not you really want to. And so I got to see one called Waitress as a musical. Not really my cup of tea. There's one or two catchy songs and stuff, and I like the catchy songs. I'm also probably one of the few people on the planet who did not like Hamilton. And frankly was sort of rooting for King George. But that's just because the guy who played him did a really good job. And when Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote that part of it, he did a good job of just making that catchy and kind of fun. And part of the reason Hamilton didn't work for me is I'm just not a rap person. I'm not a spoken poetry, spoken word kind of person. So Hamilton was unfortunately doomed from the start. But yeah, I mean, I had a surprise with Waitress. I had also not seen or read anything about... I knew the story, but I had not seen or read anything about the musical of Anastasia. And no, we're not talking one of Cinderella's sisters. We're talking about one of the Russian Romanovs. And that was actually well done. It was interesting, but it's not one that I'm going to be super hooked on. Part of it is because sometimes I get hooked on more downer stories, but that one I just couldn't quite get into. So we'll have to see. There's a few that I don't know. I think Hadestown is this one. I don't remember what the next one is. I'll have to look it up. It's another one that I don't know. And then after that, we've got Hairspray. So I'm looking forward to seeing that on the stage. Because I've seen Hairspray live, and I've seen the movie, as a lot of people have done. And I've seen another version of Hairspray prior to that as a film. I quite liked it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one live. Wow. Fox is certainly selling himself short tonight. And I suspect if I'm not here, and then Fantastic Sherlock Fox will probably be doing something to interest the kids, I suspect. Hey! I stuck the landing. How did that happen? Mom, that trick never works. So I do want a hole in here. I'm trying to decide where I want it. Yeah, right actually about in here will probably do the job. Let's go... Come on. Oops, not quite what I wanted, but that's okay. This one. That's better. Honestly, how come I can't hit blocks today? Seriously. I have to jump higher. Jump higher! Okay. Yay. We are quarter to the hour? 15 minutes? So this is the hole I was talking about earlier. It's a little bit too big, I think, but just doing 1 square wide might not quite do it justice. I'm just trying to see, how am I doing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go just with the rectangular hole, that'll be referencing it. That would work for a tool. And then that gives me an up and down to get through the roof. Let's fix this edge. We don't need the big black edge to it. Then we have some fill in from the inside. It's got the basic shape. That's the big key. Yeah, okay, that looks more anvil-ish. So we can fill in the walls and start filling the inside. I think that's the big piece. You can jump not straight in this game. Huh. I didn't think you could. Only 16 pieces. Okay, that's not going to get me far enough. So I might as well just fill this in with the roofing material and call it a day. One, two, three.
2, 4, 6, 8. Everybody
Everybody hydrate. Alright. So we got the water. Hopefully you guys have something too, whether it be water, juice, wobbly pop, or something caffeinated. Go for it.
Crackle snap, crackle snap, snap.
There's one stretch. Pop, pop, crackle, snap, crackle, 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 snap, pop, snap. Oh. There we go. I'm assuming there's probably also a posture check in there somewhere. If not, you get a freebie. That's okay. All good. Scratch. Scratch, stretch. We are just about done this thing. Yay! I made it take far longer than it needed to. So getting the project complete would mean then that we're just down to starting to do the inside, decorate and stuff, which we'll probably do tomorrow morning, and I think that's really all we need. The other option, if I change my mind overnight because, you know, squirrel and all that, then it will definitely still be this week. I may end up needing I'll definitely need a purchasing period of time, and then we need to figure out how to fill this with lighting and filling it with boxes that have all the things, you know, all that jazz. Let's go stand. I'm gonna slouch right down. Yeah. There we go. All right. It is Tuesday, though. I'm hoping we have some good choices on a Tuesday. I have not looked. I don't even know what people's schedules are these days. Because I was looking at people who were playing modded for a long time, and of course nobody was playing modded. And then when people finally started doing modded, everybody and their dog is doing create. But they weren't on Tuesday evenings. Thank you very much for the posture check and so on. I needed that. What I think I'm going to do lighting-wise in here is go a bit classic and go with some chains and lanterns in the center. Nothing super fancy. And potentially in the ends, quite literally, just throw a campfire in. It seems weird, but the pretense is the brazier effect. And I kind of wish that I actually could set something like weird shape-wise, but set like an anvil or the top of a wall piece on fire, but it just doesn't work that way. All those real-life side quests. Yeah. People started ordering things again. You know, making money is worth it sometimes, right? Okay, so we've got the blocks done. I think I'm gonna go with that. Let's just rip through the wall. Oh, nope, I haven't set to do that. Okay. Down. Where's my door? I have to do something with this door. There we go. Up. Out. Backwards. Weirdest, jankiest thing you ever saw, but I think it does what we need it to do. Yep. It'll do. Because in all honesty, if you take a look at the patinas on any actual anvil, they're pretty messed up now. I mean, this is a very blocky version. This one looks like I've kind of gone to some sort of fabric shop and gone all houndstooth or something on you. But, at the moment, it shall do. She says, dubiously. Oh, yeah. We've heard that one in our family, too. My mother-in-law used to actually make, roller fleece. We call them bivouacs, basically, but it's an overbag for camping equipment. 2 members of the Canadian Army, because that's who would want them and order them and whatever. And she got into the point where she just did not want to do such a large-scale production any longer. So she closed the business down, and that was many, many years ago. And every once in a while, you hear her say, you know, I wonder if I should, and then 10 seconds later, it's like, nope, unconfirmed, never going to do it quite that big again. It's like, yeah, well, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes in the first place on something like that. Okay. Now it's a matter of basically filling the place, lighting it up a little bit, plugging that hole with some glass just 'cause, and yeah, that's about the size of it. Well, exactly. I mean, that's the challenging part when you've got kids and such. Okay. I'm not fully liking the look of the whole thing, but I'm always critical of my projects. I mean, I still don't like Tridar. Train people to do it for you. Wow. Wow. Beebs is having fun with cutting and gluing art projects. I don't think that Beebs would really want to do that yet. Stop. Here, because I can. I'll let it do its thing while I'm finishing up here. Hey, Poodle. Welcome on in.
Hello.
Oh yes, your machine. I was not expecting... Wow, picturing Beebs at a sewing machine. I'm sure that, you know, in 10 seconds flat, somebody would be making a sweatshop comment, and that's really rough. Okay. I wouldn't be... It's not quite Tridar says, but we've got Really? Never mind. It said do a good turn for somebody every day. I can't imagine what headspace I was in when I wrote that. That's awesome. That's totally awesome. Yeah, my daughter probably could sew. She just doesn't really have the interest, I suppose. I think she's been shown how. Some basic hand stitching stuff, but she just doesn't have the interest. Okay. We're only 5 minutes too. Do I have any of that weird lighting stuff on hand? The more I learn about you, Poodle Pirate, the more I'm starting to wonder what business you haven't had at some point or another. I've got torches. I've got an anvil. Nope, you can't even light it on fire. Not even for science. Darn it. Okay. Oh, I had an anvil. Oh well. Oh yeah. I'm sure there was a lot of stuff going on. It's not for me to say, but in the grand scheme of things, I've actually been pretty lazy in life. Did I get that sorted properly? Okay, there we go. Okay, so no lighting in there. No lighting in there. Other than torches. Do I have anything? Not much in the redstone box, unless I went specifically redstone lighting, which I don't think that would suit. Feel? What I think I'm probably going to do then is do campfires and stuff from base. I have to go and grab those. I don't know if I can put an anvil above a fire, but I'm actually wondering what to do the other way around, James. So using it quasi-brazier style and just setting a campfire on an anvil like a pillar. I'm picturing that quite literally, but I'm sorry, but the image just... yeah. No, but she was probably a magician at some point. I would not have been surprised. Okay. So we've got ourselves a big something. It needs a sign, it needs a name. It probably needs a path, I guess. And it probably needs a floor. So we have a little bit of odds and ends left to do. Oops, F5. F4? There we go. See? F5, 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 Alt F4? Yeah. Where is basalt? No, not that. These ones. Haha. There's my floor. Why? Because I can. One more. The world's jankiest floor you've ever seen. I'm going to use the end of the basalt. Basalt? Basalt? I don't know. The thing that starts with a B. No. Nope, not this way. Not that way either. This way. I should be more creative with the floor, but have you ever seen a blacksmith shop that had a nice floor that wasn't dirt? Me either, so I'm taking license. The other advantage to it is I can say, you know, have you ever been inside an anvil? Me neither. But I guess it gives me license to do what I want, right? I don't know. It'll be busy by the time you add boxes and stuff, and nobody really spends much time in a shop anyway. Stone or cobble? Well, I mean, hey, I've got something that's... I'll be perfectly honest, the reason I'm averse to the cobble as a flooring right now is purely because of the fact that now that I've seen Blackstone looking kind of like black bubble wrap, the cobble look really doesn't work because it has a similar look for me. Yeah, and if you guys are saying you've never seen that before, in all honesty, try it sometime. Just put a big bunch of the plain black stone side by side, and take a look at it from a distance, and you'll start to see what I mean. It looks either like one of those fidget toy popping things, or black bubble wrap. Bubble wrap floors. Yeah, it's awful. So that's why we're not doing that. Ah, come on. Actually, it's not horrible. So yeah, we'll go with it. Wrap poppins? Ooh. Not quite. Not quite, but I see where you're going with that. Alright. I know we've just hit the top of the hour. I just figure, hey, I can do this part. Right? So we've got most of it done, and then we will give... It just gives whoever's firing up time to have a Delend style moment where standard time isn't necessarily standard time. Or, another way of looking at it is that they can welcome everybody to stream on time, explain what they're going to be up to, then we can raid and make them start all over again. Isn't that how it usually works? On the other hand, I mean, I could call it an anti-Tom measure, even if I'm not raiding into Tom's stream, just dodging all the welcome sounds. I don't have a soundtrack like ITT Tom. I've thought about it, but possibly not quite that long. That's one of the things I've been kind of curious about, and it's not to start a big discussion, just something for people to mull on. For those of you that have, or possibly could be interested in, your own type of sound, do you prefer it as a command that you guys can trigger when you want, or would you prefer it to be an automated walk-on? Because I can do that too. I can even do both. But I've been playing with the idea, just kind of wondering, because sometimes people, you know, I've seen servers where, say for example, people are lurking through most of the day, and that's fine, and then they change their minds to play on marbles or something, so you get your command in there, like the play command in there, and that drags you out of lurk, in which case then their bot goes and triggers off the walk-on. And depending on how long this walk-on is, that can be a little bit disruptive. So, there is that sort of thing that's happened. This one... Expedient solutions. That's sort of the generic question. And I mean, there are people like Poodle plays hers, and there's a list of people I've got that just haven't got me their files or instructions on what they want me to do. There's one notable exception in Springer Shadows. She and I have been talking about it, and it's proving a little more challenging to find the right fit to get it to work, but yeah, you know. And I mean, commands aren't always the be-all and end-all. Like, your private command could be purposely designed like Gen 1044's command, purposely designed to troll me. Rather than having a, you know, hello, this is who I am type of command, Gen's is a modified version of the hydrate, stretch, and posture check all at once. That is very Gen specific. Because Gen looks out for us, right? Yeah, like there are people that some love to troll, and that's fine too. So, you know. One of the other options too, when I say a public command, and that's in the list, nobody has to feel any pressure, but just that could bear some explanation since I haven't in months. The public command is basically, if you have some sort of fantastic idea of something you would like to try to have added to stream, redeemed, built, whatever, that you want anybody in stream to be able to set off, then that's what that other one is for. And that's why it's a little bit cheaper, is because you wouldn't be the exclusive user of it. Okay. I think we're going to call that a day, call that a stream. So we've got the shell is done. We still need a good name for this place, but the shell is done, the floor is done. We just need to fill it. You think my redeems are too cheap? Well, people don't spend them. I mean, one of the ways I looked at it is they're cheap until they become annoyingly used too often, and then I will raise the price so that they get used less often. We have had a couple of people who we've had a couple of people who come in and like on the regular type redeems. I think I know where you're going with this one. But on the regular redeems, we've had a couple of people who come in and just spend all their points just to be annoying. And that certainly is a possibility. But then also on the redeems for commands are too cheap. On the other hand, I only had half a dozen people who've done it so far. I think maybe no. Actually, let me guess. I've got 3 in the system and 8 on the or 5 on the wall. Yeah, so I've only got about 8 people that have ever used them. Or that's the personal command, that is. Right? Some of them, yeah, they are a little crazy. But anyway, it's kind of fun sometimes to see some of the redeems that are not user command related in terms of, what's the word? In terms of things like, biggest fan. As you can see, it just goes back to back. Sure. Let me know. Yep. So I'm going to write that down on the board. Where's the... First, I can't find my whiteout. There we go. F-box. Flaming box. So if you want to, at your leisure, direct message me the instructions and/or that just about trolled me. But you're right, I could probably use one of those. Yeah, that's another one of those ones. I'll put that on stream to-dos. Muted command with an exclamation point. Maybe I need a sticker for that. It makes noises. Hey, stupid! Just kidding. Don't need insulting ones, but I see what you're saying. So yeah, definitely have to write that down. Every once in a while, just so you're aware, I sometimes make mistakes and accidentally approve a command as part of like cleaning up the reward request. And so I have to make sure that we get everything cleared up correctly. Hey, streamer! Yo, you! Unmute! Yeah. I'm sure Fantastic Sherlock Fox has an idea or two or 3. Okay, so before I get squirreling down another hole, it's 10 past the hour. Let's release you guys to another fine streamer for the evening. And I'll go grab something to eat and stretch and whatever, and then probably see most of you in another stream after that. So we've got the shell built. It may get some work, we'll see. But we got the basic part of it. So I'm relatively pleased with that. Let's see who we can raid out to this evening. Because I made a boo-boo this morning, so I'm hoping I will have a little bit better luck this time around. It looks like our fine owl friend, Stormy, is listed as playing on Slackville and things. And has been up for about 40 minutes, so probably starting with words on stream and such. And I think I will send you guys all over there. Though for those of you that are curious, I mentioned last week, if you want to, Infozar is also live. He's the one I mentioned last week who's doing magic. So if you are into double parking, that's my other recommendation. But I will definitely do the raid out to Stormy instead. Yeah, I didn't say it. Oh no, silence. James, you and I are on the same page there. 99 would be proud. All right, so let's get this raid started to Stormy. And then I will say thank you to everybody rather specifically. Okay, button. Who's got the button? I think I need to steal that one too. Alrighty, mischief has been managed. Thank you everybody who came by this evening. If you need, or if you want to use emotes, feel free to grab the appropriate set. The ones that say anyone quite literally are for anyone. They've been tweaked to be fixed. So thank you very much to all of our clue spenders this evening. And I could name you out, but that would take quite a long time. We had some really good back and forth going on. Thank you to our moderation team this evening, who included Scrublord, Benson, and Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Also, thank you very much to our chatters this evening, including James Curry, Mama Bear, Springer Shadow, Sashay Away, and Poodle Pirate, as well as Lord Snarl. Thank you ever so much for the raid. I appreciate that. Thank you also for Elon Poppins for chatting, to Terrier Darts as well, and Flaming Fox. So thank you everybody who came in, and also thanks to those who hung out and chilled for a while. We've got progress. Yes, we do. So I will send you guys over to the Owl. Have yourselves a fantastic evening. I'll be back noon Eastern tomorrow for the one and only stream tomorrow. And hope you guys have a great night. See you on the flip side. Bye-bye for now.